Welcome all to Swayam open online courses. Today we are going to see the subject on sustainable development and NGOs. So, having seen in detail the schooling aspects, now we are going to see the learning aspects. So, we ensure or enable learning in innovative ways. So, as I said, these innovative ways have got various programs, various things that we work on. So, what we call it as, we have got a flagship program, what we call it as multi-dimensional learning space, we call it MDLS. So, in the MDLS program, we have improved reading levels is the first thing that we are working on. Why we have to work on improving reading levels? Now, even as elders, we do not read, our reading skills have become very less or going lesser and lesser day by day with digital contents and mobile phones and things like that. We do skimming, scanning, and we do not read properly, and we face problems. But even the next generation children are not learning. If they are not reading, then they are not able to respond to things properly. Their comprehending skills goes very bad if they are unable to read in their vernacular as well as in English. So, basically in their mother tongue and English, they should have at least proper skills to read. So, that is reading and comprehending is very important thing. So, that we are trying to work through a library program. We have got a child friendly library program. This is run under grow by methodology, which we call it as the books are color coded into green, red, orange, white, blue, yellow, which is otherwise called as grow by methodology. In the grow by methodology, the books are color coded and we keep it as open racks with the books, so that it becomes very child friendly. The curated list of books are procured from various child friendly publishers across India, including Children's Book Trust, National Book Trust, Tulika, you name it, anything like Pratham, many child friendly publishers we are getting, and these books we are giving and with the color codes. So, that the idea of color coding is basically we can monitor the transitioning of reading levels of children from one level to another. How today a child is in a green level means whether after 2 months, 3 months of attending the library program, whether he or she is able to transition to the next level is something we are able to monitor. And if we do that over a period of time, if we could enhance, then we also do a reading level assessment, what we call it as RLA. So, if you do the RLA, then we will know how they are moving out, transitioning, and that skill when they attain yellow grade, then yellow color coded level, then it becomes easy for them to read any other thing and it becomes easy. So, that is where we work on the reading levels. We will see more details in the slides. Then we work on enhanced subject competency, that is where exactly we work on various programs like science, math, other subjects, where we have created contents and helping them to do things, and we have got the lab in a box science kit. So, the lab in a box science kit, which can cater to 150 science experiments mapped to syllabus, which the students can do by hands on. Science is a subject, you will agree that by doing hands on they will learn more than somebody is teaching more, or by rote method I do not think any student will be able to internalize the science concepts. They will learn better or they will understand better if we really make them to learn it by doing hands on experiments. So, that is what we are trying to facilitate there. Then inculcate inquisitiveness, this is again connected to the science kit. So, we are helping them to learn these things. Then you learn new skills through ICT, as we are talking on the Swayam online course today. ICT is playing a major role even in school education. So, we have to see how we will make our next gen more computer literate, how they will learn things through computer, how we will enable them to explore various subjects learning or enhancing subject learning through using ICT tools, and also create pathways for productive careers, as we talked about career guidance and other things. So, these the whole complete program of all this, like a digital classroom, a smart classroom, science lab with a lab in a box, child friendly library, and then creating digital content, and then doing teacher training, and then doing computer literacy related programs, and then doing life skills and various spoken English and other related inputs, and then doing this career guidance and career pathways related inputs. With all this, we call it or package it as what we call it as multi-dimensional learning space. So, this multi-dimensional learning space is something that is not lacking or not given as this kind of packaged effort in a government school. We are trying to see how we can enhance these things in these government schools. So, in the we have seen the schooling, we have seen the learning, now we are getting into the earning. So, here we equip children to create pathways to productive careers through a student centric program focused on their interests, innate abilities and skills. So, this is the basic idea. The decision is theirs. Ultimately, it is that student and their parents who have to decide what course that they have to decide, they have to undergo and what kind of career pathway he or she will select. But is it based on their interest? Is it something that they can afford? Is it something that they have taken a decision after looking into all informed choice options? So, that is a very valid question that we have to see. So, that is where exactly ILP is helping the government school students in terms of giving various options. Even yesterday we had a district level workshop with involving all teachers in the Chengalpattu district of non-Mudalvan coordinators who have given responsibilities by the government as career guidance coordinators at the school level. 94 teachers from all over the district were there in our workshop. So, basically we discussed what are the challenges, what are the difficulties they have and what are the achievements they have made. So, trying to look at those things in perspective and help them to enhance those things. So, in the process as we were talking about SDG, the importance of working with the government school is also getting more thrust or importance, because the way we work with the communities, we the kind of reference population with whom we are intervening, if you see we are reaching the most needy. That is what we are trying to say, we are trying to serve more towards the attaining SDG. When you say sustainable, the sustainable aspect is mainly to reach the unreached. How we will reach the unreached? If you see, we are working with the migrant labor, for example. So, we have been working with the migrant labor who are coming to work in bricklin industries in Tamil Nadu, who are either from within the state from different districts or have come from other states like Orissa or Telangana. So, these people have come here, and when they migrate for seasonal migration in bricklin areas, they come with their children who are in school in those areas, and they bring them here, and these children are left high and dry without continuing their education. So, ILP has taken it up those kind of issues with the parents, with the bricklin owners, through our partner NGOs, with the district administration, with the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, with the other government departments, and we are glad to say that the government of Tamil Nadu has passed orders to provide the same kind of services that are being provided to our school children who are studying in schools, for all the migrant children also during that migration period. Seasonal migration period is from January to June, post Sankranti, post Pongal to July, till such time the rains are set in. During that period, if they come means, then during that season we are ensuring that all kinds of services are being given to all the children who are coming through the migrant children also, including the Anganwadi services. So, the reason I am trying to explain you this is basically each and every segment of these communities that we are given here have got their own issues towards education. So, that is something that we need to realize, or we have to work specific issues how we will address those, like tribal. The tribal problems are like they are in the same locality, but if you really see their dialect is different. So, they do not have script and they use different dialect at their home, and there are several tribal dialects, and the state governments are having different books of subjects that are in the textbooks are in different languages, and the children have difficulty in acquiring the knowledge, because the language that the dialect that they speak at home is different, and that does not have a script. If we say Tamil has got a script, we know the same thing we are using, but in many Jharkhand or Orissa or Bihar, that kind of areas, if you really go in the areas where we work, this is another massive problem. And then there are Mahadalits. These are like in Bihar, if you go, there is Mushar communities, and they are called Mahadalits, and they have their own issues of even today the literacy rate of Mahadalits is not even more than 30-40%, that we can definitely say. that is the reality in 2023 that we are working on. And there are linguistic minorities. These linguistic minorities, like we have created states just on a particular day, one fine day we have done these things and then made state borders. Even in Tamil Nadu, if you see Krishnagiri district, we are in the border, there are Telugu speaking people, Kannada speaking people, Tamil speaking people. So, then the medium of instruction is different, their mother tongue is different, and then the same issues. So, there are in the interstate border areas these linguistic minorities related issues are there. The girl children have their own issues, like the linguistic issues, girl children, migrant issues are also compounded in the interstate border areas. So, there are many issues. So, if you really work with these kind of communities, one will be able to understand the magnitude or the depth of the issues that are related to education at the grassroots level. So, if you see the pathways for impact for ILP, it is not that we directly work, but we also work in partnership with NGOs, and we also have what we call it as knowledge partners, and we also partner with the governments, because if we have to have larger reach, it is very essential for us to really have this kind of pathways. Directly working has got its own limitations, however good it is. So, we also do working with NGO partners and then having direct working, and also knowledge partners is basically they take our tools, methods, processes, and then they invest their own resources and do something on their own. To quote an example for knowledge partners, Mission Samriti group, or the Infosys volunteers have got an organization called Samarpan. So, they invest their own resources, but they take all ILP's tools, methods, processes, and the volunteers implement those things on their own in their villages with their children. Government partnership we are going to see more as in the next few more slides to come. So, one may ask why government partnership, why we have to work with government, what is the real thing. See, basically as we talked about SDG, as we talked about sustainability, as we talked about rights perspective, I think the responsibility is with the government. So, no NGO can substitute the role of a government, or that is not the idea. The role of a NGO is basically to create replicable models, workable models, and take it up with the government, see how that can be taken up by the government at a larger scale. So, in that process, if you see why government, if you could see as you could see the total education spends for 20 to 23, the central government is spending about 1 lakh crore the education budget of the government of India, and all state governments put together is spending another 5.67 lakhs crores. So, it is basically 6.67 lakh crores the kind of money that is being spent on education for our children in India. So, this is one aspect. If this 1 lakh crore, if you see, is only 2.34% of our central budget. So, you can imagine we are investing only 2.3% of our GDP towards education, whereas ideal would be the central government, or the if they could increase the spending on education to 6%. That is the kind of thing that many educationists have been asking for a long time. So, now how we will do? So, basically the central government is spending their money on infrastructure and quality components. Some states even this state government the central government contribution is also being used for the teacher salary, but all expenses of central schools, that is like our CBSE or Navodaya or other kinds of central government directly run schools, those expenditure are coming from those budget. State budgets, if you see that 5.67 lakhs that we saw, those are basically spent on salaries and operational expenses. So, of this if you see again 85 to 90% is being spent on teacher salaries. That is because education is being a labor intensive process, we need teachers, and still there are a lot of teacher vacancies, but this is the kind of thing. So, there are special budgets for infrastructure and quality that are being done by the various state governments then and there. So, this is the context I am saying, the kind of education canvas, the finances that are available, and then the kind of issues that we have on education in India. So, if that is the thing, then what are the things that NGOs can do? What could be the role of NGOs towards education? So, if you could see, okay, what it can do is it can fit into existing structure. Okay. So, it can say, okay, I will do this much, that is one option. The option 2 is model that fit existing budgets, that is we can say, okay, if this money is being given, then NGO can do only that much, that is another option. Maximize what exists, so that is another aspect, like this much of money is coming, but how I will work to maximize the benefit. Like we are saying, ILP's budget is very low. As a NGO, if you see, we are not a very rich organization, but we may be spending about maximum 20-25 crores a year in all 10 states put together, with all our 19,000 schools that I told you, with 3.3 million children. So, this money is very meager. It is not that we are investing a lot of money, it is actually the government is investing their money, but we are seeing how in the government schools the resources that are supposed to work for children can be enhanced, the rupee can serve in its longest possible manner, that is what we are trying to see. Then the third thing is invest in infrastructure. So, the NGOs themselves can invest in that, which many corporate or the CSR people are nowadays are doing, in the last few years it has been happening. So, that is still there. So, we are still in the process, but the problem of the option 4 is it is not scalable. It is not scalable, we are saying, because I hope the viewers might know that India has about 1.5 million government schools. We have roughly about 15 lakh government schools. So, for all the schools, if we have to ensure the kind of quality infrastructure or quality things that if we have to provide, then one can imagine the kind of the burden that it will have on the exchequer. So, basically what we are trying to say is to ensure sustainability, the best thing would be collaboration. For advocating the change, I think government collaboration, volunteers in for action, NGO partnership, community partnership, CSR collaboration, statutory bodies, if everybody collaborate, if all stakeholders join, if everybody join hands, then we get that empowered children and youth. So, that is what we are aiming to. We are saying let us do it collectively, together we can, that is the point that we are trying to drive. So, scale and sustainability, no one can do everything, but everyone can do something, that is the point we are trying to say. So, how we can the scaling, how we can improve the activities, the number of operations, how. So, some of the scaling aspects we will try to give you some examples in the few more slides that are going to come, and how organic implementation, then individuals and CSR teams, how they can play a role, and government implementation, how government can play a role. If there are good programs by NGOs, how government can take it and implement it at a large scale, those kind of things is possible, or the corporate is coming through a good NGO initiative, if that can be scaled, CSRs can fund and that can be scaled up, and those are the kind of things that we are looking for. So, having seen so far the wider canvas and the program, we will see some of the case studies. One of the case studies, as I said, we start with this child friendly libraries to enhance reading skills. So, reading, as I said, is a very fundamentally important thing that we talk about. So, this is making reading fun is the major thing that we do. As you could see, these are some of the ILP run libraries. These libraries are different from other libraries. These are open book racks, there are no closed shelf or anything. We want children just to experience books, we want them to go and take any book, read, do things. So, that is the kind of thing. So, I have already explained you about this. So, this is this what we started in few, now this is happening in more than 600 plus schools in various states. So, that is the kind of number we are talking about. Then when we talked about experiential learning, this is what, this is another case study that we are giving you. This is ILP science kits. This is the science kit that you are seeing, which can do hands on, which is low cost, cost effective materials are there, and locally available materials. If anything has to be replenished, the teachers can replenish, and it has 150 plus components, and it can carry on to doing experiments in physics, chemistry and biology from grade 5 to grade 10, and there are training videos, manuals. There is a manual available. These manuals are available in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Oriya, Hindi, many languages including Urdu, many languages these manuals are done. So, this Government of Karnataka has implemented this in 5500 schools in North Kalyan Karnataka region. So, there are at least I think we have given nearly 20,000 science kits so far in all these 10 states now with various schools. Many schools are really enjoying this experiential learning through science kits. This is another case study. Then the digital content to improve learning. When we say smart classroom, we are not saying very fabulous paka investment on a smart classroom infrastructure, but we are saying a workable projector and a laptop kind of thing, where the digital content can be shared with the students in any place, make it mobile, and at the same time we are enabled to give them the access to digital content this way. So, some of ILP's contents are already there up in the Diksha portal of Ministry of Education, Government of India. In the career guidance pathway, this is another program. We provide 15 self discovery modules to be administered by 9th and 10th grade. We provide career chart, which you are seeing there, and the career book and aptitude test. This aptitude test is basically we try to conduct a psychometric test, what we call it as Hall and Code test, to find out the interest of the students, and there is a mobile app and website and a chat bot and a career helpline also. So, there is a structured teachers training program. I have already told you about yesterday's experience also. So, there is another program that we are working on scaling is skilling the future workforce. This is basically how 30 plus computer tools can be taught to government school children. So, these modules we are developing and working in the government schools to enable children to learn the ICT curriculum. See, basically the computer infrastructure is coming from the government, but we are providing the training of the teachers as well as the content and working with the system to improve the ICT related tools by the children. The other model that we wanted to talk to you is about preschool education. This is another interesting case study. Actually, we have started working with this NGO called Community Development Foundation, CDF, in Sedam Taluk in Gulbarga, Karnataka, where we started working intervening less than 10 Anganwadis in 2008, way back 2008-9. But that work, they have done so solid work in Anganwadis in ensuring early childhood education in the government Anganwadis, and that got spread to 300 Anganwadis covering the entire Sedam Taluk, and then later it got moved to the Gulbarga rural area, where we were working in 100 plus Anganwadis. So, the officer who came and saw those things in 2018 was very impressed, and he moved it to enter into a government contract with us, and that got done into in 2017-18 we got into a government contract where the government has invested more than 22 crores in imparting training and covering about 14,000 Anganwadis. We are going to talk about the next program, what we call it as convergence partnership strategies. So, this is with the CDF. CDF starts working in 10 Anganwadi schools in Sedam Taluk, Gulbarga, Karnataka in 2008. By 2012 to 17, they sharpened training through CLE Pune, more deeper insights leading to cover the entire Taluk. 300 Anganwadis in Sedam Taluk were covered, and by 2018, the HKRDB secretary visits Anganwadi and impressed with the child level changes, moves the government to spend 22 crores from their own fund to train 14,000 Anganwadis in North Karnataka region. Formerly, this was called HKRDB, Hyderabad Karnataka region. Now, it is called Kalyan Karnataka Regional Development Board. So, the point is, what we started as a NGO, to work in 10 Anganwadis have got expanded to 14,000 Anganwadis, and by a government investment of 22 crores by 2018, and Now, in 2023, ILP is working in 3,100 Anganwadis, and Tata Trust and Kalike Trust are working in 11,000 Anganwadis, and we have covered 70% of the training completed, and CDF moves ahead with the ILP partner area Anganwadis. So, we have other partner NGOs in other states, this is only in Karnataka, right. So, even for other states the same methodology we are trying to expand. So, what you are able to see this, right. So, there is a Government of Karnataka agreement MOU that we have entered, ILP has entered with Government of Karnataka in 2018 to work with these Anganwadis. So, in 2023 we have conducted a midline assessment, and this midline assessment is conducted by professionals including Dr. Usha Abral, Dr. Tara and Varsha Manjunath. So, they have done this midline assessment in strengthening these Anganwadis, government Anganwadis, and they have come up with the report that the work is going on fabulous manner. So, that is the kind of sustainability we are talking about. The idea of sustainability is inject values or give inputs or work through the training process, empower people and let them do it on their own, and they will continue even if we are not there. That is the kind of thing that we are talking about, and if NGO can do replicable models, the government can invest their resources and can pick it up from there. So, these are the some of the things like what you are seeing, these are the Anganwadi training, and you are seeing the children sitting on the floor, and in all the Anganwadis that kind of circles are made, and through those circles all children will sit in a circle manner and they will learn things, and preschool education is given more importance in each and every Anganwadi, and in each and every Anganwadi they are collecting these kind of locally available teaching learning materials. So, believe that no teacher is given additional money to do these things, they collect these local materials and they put this display and enable children to learn in the process. The next case study that we are going to give is, this is an initiative, joint initiative by the Government of Tamil Nadu, IIT Madras and India Literacy Project. So, this is what you are seeing here. This is the Government of Tamil Nadu, IIT Madras has invented an electronic kit, and they are doing an exposure to electronics to the government school students in the grades of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So, for doing that ILP's science kit will be used for giving exposure in foundation science from grade 5 to grade 10, and for electronics from grade 9 to grade 12, these things will be used. On the photograph that you are seeing, the program launch in the presence of the IIT Director, Education Minister and the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. So, this is the program that we are launching for every year. They have targeted 1 lakh, that is 400 students from 250 schools, but I think it will come minimum to 2.5 to 3 lakh students every year. So, we will be roughly covering in the next 5 years roughly about 15 to 17 lakh students on exposure to electronics and foundation science on hands on using ILP science kit. So, that is on the volume of STEM education that we are talking about. So, this is another program where NGO and an educational institution, premier institution like IIT Madras and the Government of Tamil Nadu joining hands in terms of taking up a large scale program, how it can enhance quality of learning and pave the way for SDG goals. So, in this as you could see, outreach is 250 government schools, I told you. So, the 1 lakh students, but the number may go up. The focus group is for science kits, it is from grade 6 to 10, electronic kit it is from grades 9 to 12. The methodology is through lectures and hands on experience by using electronics and science kits. So, career it will give a good exposure for students to have a career on electronics, because electronics have come to stay, right from our fans to what not, we all know. So, if we have to become a greater electronic hub, I think from the skill development point of view, we have to really motivate children or give them the kind of confidence that is required for towards handling with electronics. So, that will be enabled, and the duration will be 3-year program. Actually, the MOU has been signed for 5 years, and the faculty training, IIT Madras has trained the government school teachers as well as ILP staff, and ILP is training the teachers on using the ILP science kits in the government schools. So, with this put together, we have also mapped the syllabus in doing the science and as well as electronics. So, this program is another example where government and NGO partnership is enhancing the value of learning. This is another case study where Karnataka state model school program. This is a joint collaborative approach, funded by a major CSR through JSW, where ILP is playing a major role as a lead NGO, and there are other organizations like Shikshana Foundation, Yuva Unstoppable, Quest Alliance, Udayam, and Government of Karnataka, and the funding is coming from the JSW Foundation and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The fund management is with ILP and United Way Bangalore, and Sattva is doing the monitoring, and Ernst and Young and Sambodhi are doing the monitoring and evaluation. So, so many partners have joined, and the uniqueness of this program is basically the same set of schools we are working, but multiple NGOs. So, one NGO will work on toilets, sanitation, water related programs, Shikshana Foundation will work on foundation literacy, ILP will work on ICT, career guidance, library, and Yuva Unstoppable will work on toilets and water, Quest Alliance will work on teacher capacity building, Udayam will work on entrepreneurship related programs in careers. So, these are like multiple various activities or programs done in the same set of schools. So, that we try to improve the students in an integrated manner on all these aspects. So, this is talking about the further details on the KMSPP collaborative, how the fidelity of mission with the children at the center, how meaningful participation is adding value, collaboration and collaborative mindset is being inculcated. There are many stakeholders, everybody coming together at a particular school and do multiple stakeholders doing the same thing. So, there is a knowledge sharing, there is adaptability and agility and radical candor in communication, there is integrity, transparency and accountability, because the whole budget is known for everybody, for all the partners in the thing, and everything is defined, and accordingly ILP will release the money and will work with them, and operating guidelines and compliance and evidence based decision making and learning. So, these are some of the things. The other experiments scaling with the government, as we shared the photographs with you, this is on the ICT in school education. This is the various ICT tools that we are doing, MyPaint and Inkscape, TuxPaint, and then Audacity, OpenShot video editor, Turtlebugs and Blocks and Scratch, then hardware basics and LibreOffice, Chrome and Internet, then Kgraphy and the various other programs, Calcium, TuxMath, and those kind of things, how it can be given, Stellarium, KStars, Canagram, all those GComparis. So, all these programs that are given at the school level from grade 7, 8 to grade 10, on how if the government has the ICT infrastructure in the schools, computers in the schools, and if they are not put to use, ILP can enable them to take up these kind of things through trained facilitators and train the government school teachers and monitor this ICT learning in the school level. I think we have come to the last part of the thing. So, what we are trying to share with you all is this thing that Big Panda asked, which is more important, the journey or the destination. So, the tiny dragon which is sitting on the back of the panda said, the company. So, it is something like this. So, ultimately the process is more important. The process is more important, that if we have to achieve SDGs, if we have to do ensure quality education for all our children and children of India, I think the crux lies on the partnership and sharing and caring and working with each other. Friends, so far we have seen what is SDG, and in SDG what is the role of education and quality education related SDG norms, and UNCRC right to education and other perspectives. And in this, based on these perspectives and principles, what ILP has been doing, the various programs that ILP has been doing on schooling, learning and earning, and connecting it to how various partnership, government partnership and other partnership that are leading to more sustainable way of scaling as well as improving the quality. So, in the process we have shared certain case studies, the different projects that are being undertaken, and we hope this will throw more light to you on these aspects to internalize as well as connect the sustainable development goals towards education as well as how those things can be done by an NGO. Thank you.